Journey to the Mariana Trench, a calm sleep story by Sleepy Science Tech. Welcome to Sleepy Science Tech. I invite you to take a deep, easy breath in and slowly let it out. Let your body relax. Feel your shoulders drop, your eyes grow heavy, and your mind become light and curious. Tonight, we'll take a peaceful journey to one of the most mysterious places on our planet. A world of darkness, silence, and ancient secrets. The Mariana Trench. Together, we'll drift softly from the surface of the ocean, down through shimmering blue water, into a place where light fades away, and pressure builds into eternity. As we travel downward, you'll learn gentle, fascinating facts about the ocean, science, exploration, and even how the flow of data and technology mirrors the flow of currents deep beneath the sea. So close your eyes if you wish. Let the sound of the ocean carry you away. And let's begin our slow descent into the heart of Earth's deepest mystery. The surface of the Pacific Ocean stretches endlessly around you, glimmering like liquid glass beneath the quiet morning sky. The horizon melts softly into a hazy blue, where the light of the rising sun dances across gentle ripples. The air is warm, but faintly salty. You can smell the distant touch of deep water, ancient, cold, and patient. You stand aboard a silent vessel, floating above the deepest known place on Earth, the Mariana Trench. Beneath you, 7 miles of mystery wait. For a long moment, you look out at the horizon, breathing slowly, letting your mind settle into the rhythm of the sea. It's calm here, peaceful. You can almost forget that beneath the tranquil surface lies an unseen world, more alien than the moon. A place untouched by sunlight. A realm where life survives under pressures that would crush steel. And yet, in that darkness, it thrives. The journey begins slowly. The submersible, a small, rounded capsule of metal and glass, hums softly as you prepare for descent. It's quiet inside, just the sound of circulating air, the slow creak of steel adjusting to temperature, and your own heartbeat, steady and curious. You take one last look at the bright world above, the shimmer of sunlight, the soft call of seabirds, the faint wind brushing the waves. Then, with a small hiss of air, the vessel begins to sink. The world outside turns into liquid blue. The first few meters are filled with motion, bubbles rising, fish darting, the shadow of the ship fading above. It feels peaceful, almost playful. Schools of small fish shimmer past, their silver scales reflecting sunlight in flickering patterns. You keep descending. The water begins to darken, turning from sky blue to sapphire, then to deep indigo. The sun grows dimmer, and the world becomes still. The upper layer of the ocean, called the epipelagic zone, is the sunlit zone. It stretches down about 200 meters. Most ocean life, dolphins, whales, coral reefs, colorful fish, lives here near the light. As you glide past this layer, the brightness fades, and the color of the world softens into a cool twilight. The last glimmers of sunlight shimmer like distant stars above you. You are now entering the mesopelagic zone, often called the twilight zone. Between 200 and 1,000 meters deep, this is where sunlight grows faint and mysterious. Here, the water cools. The pressure increases, wrapping around your sub like an invisible hand. But you feel safe, calm, knowing this is the quiet heart of Earth's oceans. Small creatures begin to appear, strange, translucent forms, glowing faintly in the darkness. Some move like ribbons, undulating gracefully. Others blink in short pulses of blue light, like soft Morse code messages. They are bioluminescent, creatures that create their own light through chemistry and evolution. Some use their glow to attract prey, others to confuse predators, and a few, perhaps, just shimmer for the sake of beauty, light for the sake of being seen. As you descend deeper, the pressure grows immense. For every 10 meters you travel down, the pressure increases by 1 atmosphere, roughly the weight of an entire Earth's atmosphere pushing down on you. By the time you reach 1,000 meters, You're surrounded by a crushing force more than 100 times stronger than what you feel on land. But the vessel holds firm. The engineers who built it designed it with care, with layers of metal and glass that mimic the balance of the sea itself. Strong, flexible, patient. Outside, darkness becomes complete. You turn on the vessel's exterior lights. Two soft beams of white spread outward, revealing a slow dance of particles drifting down through the blackness. This is marine snow, flakes of organic matter, the remains of plankton, dead organisms, and microscopic fragments of life from the surface. It falls endlessly, like a gentle snowfall that never stops. It's quiet, constant, and strangely beautiful. These falling particles are food for the creatures of the deep. Each flake a tiny message from the living world above. A reminder that all life, even at the bottom of the ocean, is connected in a cycle of nourishment and renewal. You continue to sink, slowly, gently, through thousands of meters of water. The feeling is almost meditative. The hum of the sub, the faint crackle of water outside, the subtle vibration of descent. Everything feels rhythmic, steady, and timeless. The darkness no longer feels empty. It feels alive, a different kind of life. A slower one. A life that measures time not in seconds or minutes, but in centuries. Now you are passing 2,000 meters. The bathypelagic zone. The midnight zone. No sunlight has ever reached this far. It is eternally dark, eternally cold. The temperature here is just above freezing, around 4 degrees Celsius. And yet, even here, creatures move, soft, ghostly shapes drifting through the beam of light. There's a faint glow in the distance, the pulse of a jellyfish, or perhaps the reflection of your own light bouncing off a drifting organism. You realize that what looks empty is, in fact, full of life adapted perfectly to darkness. Creatures here do not rely on sight. They sense vibration, pressure, and electric fields. They live in quiet communion with the sea. As the sub glides deeper, your thoughts drift with it. You think about how small you are, and yet how vast the world truly is. You think about how, for millions of years, this place has existed in silence. Unseen, undisturbed, and perfectly balanced. At around 4,000 meters, you pass through the abyssal zone. The word abyss means bottomless, and it feels true. Even the word itself seems to echo in your mind. At this depth, the water pressure is nearly 400 times greater than at the surface. Yet life persists. Long, slender fish with transparent bodies drift lazily. Tiny crustaceans scuttle across the seafloor. Some have never been seen by human eyes. It's humbling to think that there are more species living in the deep ocean than have been documented on land. Entire ecosystems exist here, silently thriving in darkness. You imagine the ocean as a vast living library. Each layer a chapter, each current a paragraph, each organism a word in a story billions of years old. And here, deep within it, you are turning one of its oldest pages. You recall how humans first discovered the trench. In 1875, the HMS Challenger, a British naval ship, set out to explore the world's oceans. It carried scientists, tools, and a sense of wonder that defined an era. Using a simple rope weighted with lead, they measured the ocean's depth at various points. When they reached this region, near the Mariana Islands, they found something astonishing. The rope kept going deeper and deeper until finally at around 8,000 meters it stopped. It was the first hint of the Great Trench, a discovery made not with high-tech sensors or satellites, but with patience, curiosity, and a piece of weighted rope. Decades later, technology improved. In 1951, the HMS Challenger 2 returned with echo-sounding equipment, a device that used sound waves to measure depth. They found a point even deeper than before. It was named the Challenger Deep in honor of that first expedition, the deepest known part of the ocean. In 1960, humans finally touched the bottom. The submersible Trieste, piloted by Jacques Picard and Don Walsh, descended into the unknown. The journey took nearly 5 hours, a slow, quiet fall into darkness. Inside, the two men sat close together, surrounded by thick metal walls. They heard groans as the hull adjusted to pressure. They saw darkness so complete, it was as if the universe itself had closed its eyes. When they reached the bottom, they saw the seafloor, soft, pale, and still. A fine layer of silt, untouched by time. Then, movement, a small, flat creature gliding past. Life, even there. They stayed only 20 minutes before beginning the long ascent. But those 20 minutes changed the way humanity saw its own planet. Years later, others would follow. Unmanned vehicles, robotic probes, autonomous submersibles, each gathering more information, more images, more whispers from the deep. In 2012, filmmaker and explorer James Cameron made a solo descent into the Challenger Deep. His vessel, the Deep-Sea Challenger, was a technological marvel, sleek, narrow, and designed for endurance. He described the experience as otherworldly. The silence was total, the darkness infinite. The only sound his own breath. He collected samples, filmed the seafloor, and found strange new life forms. He called it an alien world right here on Earth. Today, scientists continue to explore the trench with remotely operated vehicles, robotic extensions of human curiosity. Cameras capture images in total darkness. Sensors record temperature, salinity, and seismic activity. Every byte of data travels upward, through fiber cables, through satellites, into the cloud, where it's stored, studied, and shared. In a way, the trench itself has become part of the digital age, its mysteries converted into data, flowing through the invisible network that connects our world. As you continue to descend, you think about that, how even in this ancient, silent place, the rhythms of nature and technology meet. Both are systems of flow, of balance, of connection. The ocean, like the internet, carries information. Every current a message. Every drift of marine snow, a quiet packet of life. Somewhere around 7,000 meters, the light from your vessel barely reaches the seafloor. The pressure here is beyond comprehension, more than 1,000 times that of the air above. Steel would buckle, glass would shatter, but your vessel is built like the creatures that live here, compact, curved, and strong. You imagine what it would feel like to stand outside, though you know it's impossible. The darkness would wrap around you like silk. The silence would press into your bones. Yet, there would be a peace here that cannot exist anywhere else. The trench is not a place of noise or chaos or fear. It is a place of stillness. A reminder that even in the most extreme conditions, balance persists. As the descent continues, your thoughts slow. The noise of daily life, emails, traffic, conversations, fades away. You begin to think in slower rhythms, like the ocean itself. You realize that for billions of years, this world has existed without witness. The trench doesn't need light to exist or attention to matter. It simply is a silent, infinite archive of time. Every grain of sand at the bottom has been touched by eons of motion. Every drop of water has cycled through clouds, rivers, glaciers, and seas, a planetary bloodstream, flowing in endless loops. You feel connected, not just to the ocean, but to everything. To the way nature moves, the way data flows, the way thoughts drift quietly through the mind. And so, you continue downward, deeper into calm, deeper into stillness. You're no longer just exploring the ocean. You're exploring a reflection of your own mind, vast, layered, full of quiet depths. The journey feels endless, but it's not a race. It's an experience, a meditation. The trench is patient. It waits. It always has. The deeper you go, the more you sense that this place, this immense silence, is not empty at all. It's full of life, memory, and meaning. It's the heart of the earth, beating so slowly that we almost forget it's there. And as your vessel gently settles deeper, closer to the unseen bottom of the world, you feel a profound stillness wash over you. The descent is no longer about reaching a destination. It's about understanding the vast, quiet rhythm of existence. The connection between science and silence, between technology and time, between you and the deep blue world that holds us all. As we continue our descent, the ocean begins to dim. The sunlight that once danced across the surface fades, shifting from bright turquoise to sapphire to a deep, velvety blue. It feels as if the world above is slipping away, replaced by quiet, endless space. Light weakens quickly in the ocean. At just a few hundred meters down, colors start to disappear. First go the reds and oranges, fading like memories. Then the yellows vanish, followed by greens, until only a faint blue remains. Beyond that, there is no light at all, only darkness, absolute and complete. This layer of the sea is called the midnight zone. Here, sunlight can no longer reach, and the temperature drops close to freezing. The pressure grows immense, pushing against every inch of space, yet everything remains calm. It is a world built on patience, slow movements, long silences, and quiet adaptation. And even in this stillness, life continues. The creatures here are unlike any found above. They shimmer faintly, producing their own light, tiny lanterns glowing against the dark. This gentle glow is called bioluminescence. It's not fire or heat or reflection. It's chemistry, carefully tuned by evolution. Some animals use it to find food, others to hide, and some to attract companions drifting nearby. Imagine a jellyfish slowly pulsing in the dark, leaving trails of silver blue light behind it. Each movement, a quiet sparkle in the abyss, like stars falling underwater. Bioluminescence is nature's poetry written in light. When a small fish glows, it's a signal, a soft Morse code in a silent ocean. Some flash in quick bursts, while others pulse gently, their rhythm steady as a heartbeat. There are squid that shimmer to confuse predators, shrimp that release glowing clouds to disappear, and worms that spiral through the dark, shining as if the deep sea itself were celebrating. In this quiet world, the glow of life replaces the sunlight. It's soft, never harsh, more like the reflection of moonlight on snow than the glare of day. If you were adrift here, you would see scattered dots of light, slowly drifting, coming together, and fading apart again, like distant galaxies in a cosmic ocean. The deeper you go, the slower time seems to move. The water cools to around 2 degrees Celsius, near freezing but never still. Currents flow softly, shifting and winding through the trench walls. These currents are ancient, older than any city, older than any empire. They carry with them stories, nutrients, and fragments of life from far above. Scientists call this rain of organic material marine snow. Tiny flakes of carbon, plankton, and mineral dust drift down from the surface. It falls constantly, endlessly, the slowest, quietest snowfall on Earth. Each speck carries energy from the sunlit world above, feeding the deep, sustaining creatures that never see the sky. The ocean's upper layers are full of life, motion, and energy, much like a busy city filled with data, messages, and movement. But as you go deeper, the flow becomes quieter, slower, more deliberate. It's like watching the world's network slow its pace, a soft, underwater version of a sleeping internet. You could imagine the deep sea as Earth's most ancient data center. Every layer stores information, chemical records of the planet's history, temperature shifts, and traces of life from ages long past. Sediments at the bottom hold secrets that stretch back millions of years. They tell stories of climate, of species, of cycles we still barely understand. In the same way that digital data moves invisibly through fiber optic cables, currents carry knowledge here, passing energy and matter across continents, quietly, efficiently, without ever being seen. The deep ocean and our digital world share more similarities than we think. Both are hidden, both are vast, and both depend on constant, flowing connections. When we upload data to the cloud, it doesn't just float in the air. It travels through cables, long, glass fibers stretched across the ocean floor. Much of the world's internet traffic actually passes through the same great waters we're imagining now. There are cables laid along the seabed, running thousands of kilometers, linking continents and people through the same quiet world that holds the trench. If you could follow one of those cables in your mind, you'd see a thread of light, pulses of information racing through darkness. Each pulse a message, a story, a moment of human thought, traveling silently through the deep. These glowing signals move faster than sound, faster than any fish. Yet they pass unnoticed by the creatures who call this home. There's something poetic in that. Our human desire to connect, flowing side by side with nature's ancient rhythms. The ocean has been transmitting information long before we built computers. Currents carry temperature, nutrients, and signals that affect the entire planet. From one ocean basin to another, energy moves like a whisper, synchronizing climates and ecosystems. It's not just water that moves, it's data of a different kind. If you think about it, the ocean's flow and cloud computing share a soul. Both are networks built on invisible connections. Both rely on distributed systems, each part small but vital to the whole. And both hold immense capacity for memory. When scientists drop sensors into the trench, those instruments record everything: pressure, sound, salinity, temperature. Each reading becomes a tiny piece of digital marine snow, a piece of knowledge drifting upward, back to the surface, to be stored in databases and shared with the world. This, too, is a kind of communication between realms, the deep sea and the human mind, linked by curiosity and technology. One collects signals in water, the other organizes them in clouds of data. Together, they form a quiet dialogue, a whisper between nature and science. The sensors themselves are remarkable feats of engineering. They must survive the kind of pressure that could crush steel. Some are made of titanium, others of special glass spheres. Tiny capsules carrying our curiosity down into a world where we cannot go. Once they return, the information they bring back is translated, decoded, and shared through networks that span the globe. Even the way those readings move slowly through cables and servers mimics the flow of deep-sea currents. Data, like water, travels best when given time and space to move freely. Too much resistance, and the flow slows. Too much turbulence, and the clarity fades. Both the ocean and the internet depend on calm pathways. In a way, studying the deep sea reminds us to think gently. Every process here happens slowly. Light fading, sediments settling, currents shifting over centuries rather than minutes. It's a place that rewards patience. If you rush, you miss the message. If you wait, you begin to understand it. The animals down here live by that rule. Their metabolisms are slow. They eat rarely, move rarely, and never waste energy. They thrive in scarcity because they've learned the beauty of balance. They do what they must, and nothing more. The trench itself seems to breathe. Water moves in long, slow cycles. Cool water sinking, warm water rising. A global rhythm that mirrors the steady expansion and contraction of breath. It connects every ocean on Earth. A vast loop of energy that never stops. A living heartbeat beneath the waves. Sometimes, researchers compare it to the way data flows through distributed systems. Slow, reliable, and always seeking balance. In both, there's resilience. If one stream fails, another carries the load. If a current weakens, another forms. Redundancy, built not by design, but by nature. It's humbling to think how much of our technology imitates what the planet has done for eons. Cooling systems in data centers mimic the temperature gradients of the sea. Fiber optic cables carry light the same way certain fish use bioluminescence. Even the concept of the cloud, storing and sharing across invisible space, reflects the ocean's own method of distributing nutrients and energy across the globe. Every drop of seawater holds tiny organisms. Plankton, bacteria, spores. Microscopic travelers that drift on currents, carrying information about ecosystems from one region to another. They are nature's messengers, moving in patterns as intricate as any digital algorithm. Some of these microbes even record chemical signatures in their bodies, tiny archives of the environment they pass through. When they die and fall as marine snow, those records are preserved in the sediment, layer upon layer, a planetary logbook written in water and time. To read that book, scientists extract long cores of mud and sand from the trench floor. Each centimeter of core can represent hundreds of years of history. Inside are fossils of plankton, grains of volcanic dust, traces of metals, even isotopes that reveal how much sunlight reached the ocean millennia ago. It's a library of the planet, and every sample adds a page. The deeper the layer, the older the memory. And like digital storage, it is compact and efficient. No wasted space, no excess energy, just quiet, enduring memory. It's easy to forget that all of this, the complexity, the balance, exists without any central control. No single current commands the ocean. No creature orchestrates its harmony. It simply flows. Each part responds to the others, adapting, shifting, and sustaining the whole. In many ways, it's a model for how our own networks could behave, decentralized, self-adjusting, and peaceful in their operation. Nature doesn't overthink. It doesn't fight the current. It listens, adjusts, and continues. Imagine, for a moment, floating in that silence. Around you, data flows in the form of motion, slow rivers of salt and sound. Tiny sparks of life flicker at the edge of perception. A jellyfish moves past, its tendrils faintly glowing. Each pulse a heartbeat in the dark. This is what scientists call equilibrium, the deep ocean's version of stillness. It's not empty, it's balanced. Every molecule of water, every particle of sediment, knows its place. Sometimes hydrothermal vents break that calm. They release plumes of hot, mineral-rich water into the cold depths. These vents are like underwater volcanoes, bursting with energy and strange, metallic colors. Around them, entire ecosystems thrive. Tube worms, clams, and crabs gather near the warmth, living entirely on the energy of chemicals, not sunlight. It's here that we see another form of flow. Not of light, not of water, but of electrons. Chemosynthesis uses chemical reactions to sustain life. It's the deep ocean's version of electricity, a circuit of energy, pure and silent. The way these reactions spread through the vent systems is not unlike the way digital information propagates across networks. Each vent is a node, each chemical exchange a packet of data. The deep sea is full of parallels to the world we've built above, and yet it's still older, wiser, and infinitely more patient. The trench has existed for more than 180 million years. Our data centers for only decades. The trench does not need updates or patches. It simply works, perfectly adapted to its environment. Every new piece of technology we invent seems to echo something nature already designed. The patterns of data flow resemble ocean currents. The cooling systems of supercomputers echo the thermohaline circulation. Even artificial intelligence, with its layers and nodes, is a reflection of the layered, networked intelligence of ecosystems. Perhaps that's why the deep feels so comforting. It's familiar, not to our daily lives, but to something deeper inside us. Our bodies, too, are mostly water. Our cells carry traces of the same salt that fills the sea. When we imagine descending into the trench, we're not traveling away from the world. We're returning to its origin. And in that return, there's peace. Every sound becomes distant. Every thought slows. The mind, like the water, becomes still. Even in silence, information moves. Sound waves ripple softly, distant echoes of whales or underwater landslides. Each vibration adds to the great conversation of the sea. Scientists sometimes record these sounds to study the health of the ocean. They can tell when a storm passes overhead, when an iceberg breaks apart, or when a submarine earthquake shakes the trench walls. It's all data. Soft, natural flowing data. The ocean speaks in frequencies, and we, through technology, are just beginning to listen. In its way, the deep sea is both archive and orchestra, storing history and playing it back, note by note, current by current. It reminds us that the world's systems, natural or artificial, are never truly separate. They mirror, echo, and inspire one another. Down here, in the quiet depths, you begin to feel that connection. The digital cloud above and the water cloud below. Two halves of a single story about flow, memory, and communication. And as we drift deeper still, past the last fading lights of bioluminescence, into pure, endless blue-black calm, it becomes clear that every movement, every spark, every signal is simply another way the universe speaks. Softly, patiently, and beautifully, in the language of connection. Curiosity has always been part of who we are. Even in the quiet of the night, when the world sleeps, our thoughts wander. We look to the stars and wonder what lies beyond. And in the same way, we look beneath the waves and wonder what lies below. The story of the Mariana Trench is not only about geology or depth. It's about people. People who looked at the endless ocean and asked themselves, what's down there? For centuries, the sea was a mystery we could only imagine. Maps marked the unknown with swirling waves and drawings of monsters. The deeper parts of the ocean were believed to be lifeless, or worse, cursed. Sailors spoke of places where ships vanished, where the water itself seemed to pull everything down. Yet even fear could not quiet the human need to know. Every age has its explorers, people willing to step into darkness, just to bring back a single spark of understanding. And the journey into the trench is one of the most extraordinary expressions of that need. It began with questions. How deep does the ocean go? Could anything live there? What happens to light, to sound, to time itself under such immense pressure? Long before satellites and sensors, scientists relied on ropes and lead weights to measure the deep. One of the first great attempts came from the HMS Challenger in 1875, a ship not unlike many others, but carrying something powerful, curiosity wrapped in courage. The crew of the Challenger lowered a long rope into the Western Pacific, letting it sink slowly and silently into the unseen world below. When the rope finally went slack, they measured it, nearly 5 miles long. At that moment, humanity had, for the first time, touched the bottom of the world. That single measurement changed how we saw the ocean forever. From that expedition came not only data, but inspiration. It was the first whisper that the sea floor was not a flat plain, but a landscape, a world with mountains, valleys, and trenches. And deep within one of those valleys was a place that would come to be called the Mariana Trench. Almost a century later, technology finally caught up with imagination. In 1960, 2 men, Jacques Picard and Don Walsh, descended into the trench aboard a small, rounded vessel named Trieste. The Trieste looked fragile compared to the vastness of the ocean. It was shaped like a metal sphere attached beneath a floating cylinder, built to endure pressures no human had ever faced. Its outer walls were nearly 5 inches thick, made of special steel designed to resist collapse. The descent began early in the morning. Above them, the sky was clear, and the surface of the Pacific shimmered with soft light. Below them, darkness waited. As the Trieste sank, the colors of the ocean faded, from bright turquoise to deep indigo, then to velvet black. Sunlight vanished completely within minutes. Only the faint glow of instruments remained. Picard and Walsh spoke little as they went down. Each meter deeper meant greater pressure, greater danger, and greater wonder. At 10,000 feet, they passed the depth of Titanic's resting place. At 20,000 feet, the windows creaked slightly, a reminder that outside the small capsule, the weight of the world pressed from every direction. At 30,000 feet, they felt the ocean compress around them. The cabin grew colder. Condensation formed on the walls. Still, the small vessel continued to fall, guided only by ballast and belief. Finally, after nearly 5 hours of descent, the Trieste reached the bottom, about 35,800 feet below the surface. It was the first time in history that humans had touched Earth's deepest point. The explorers stared through a small window, barely 4 inches thick. Outside was a world of silence. The seafloor appeared flat and pale, a soft sediment that shifted like dust in slow motion. Then something moved. A small, living shape glided past, flat, translucent and calm. Picard thought it resembled a fish. That single moment of life in the darkness proved that even under crushing pressure, nature found a way. They remained on the bottom for only about 20 minutes. But in that brief time, they redefined what was possible. When they rose back to the surface, humanity knew something new, that the ocean's deepest depths were not empty, but alive. In the years that followed, the trench remained largely untouched. It was a place few dared to return to, both because of its danger and its remoteness. Technology had to evolve. Materials, engineering, and data systems all had to grow before another human could safely make the descent. Over half a century later, a familiar name brought new attention to the deep. James Cameron, known to the world as a filmmaker. He was also a lifelong explorer of the ocean. His fascination with the sea was more than cinematic. It was personal, almost spiritual. In 2012, Cameron became the first person to descend alone into the Mariana Trench. His submersible, deep-sea Challenger, was a bright green vessel shaped like a torpedo, built with cutting-edge materials and designed for silence. The dive took over 2 hours. As Cameron sank through the layers of water, the world above disappeared completely. He was surrounded by nothing but darkness and sound. The hum of his engines, the quiet hiss of oxygen, and the slow, rhythmic creaks of the hull. He described the descent as both peaceful and surreal. At one point, he said it felt as if he were falling through space, a vertical voyage through a liquid universe. When he reached the bottom, he saw a barren landscape, gray, soft, and alien. There were no fish in sight this time, only strange formations and a sense of infinite quiet. He took samples, filmed the terrain, and spoke softly into his recorder. His words were calm. It's a place of stillness. It's like diving into the Earth's soul. Those words have echoed ever since. Because that's what exploration really is. It's not about conquering or claiming, but about connection and reflection. When we go to the deepest places, we don't just learn about the world. We learn about ourselves. We learn what it means to seek, to wonder, to listen. Cameron's mission was also a technological triumph. Every movement, every image, was monitored by computers above. Data flowed from sensors through cables, transmitted upward like thoughts through nerves. In that moment, the trench became part of a network, a place once silent, now whispering its secrets into human knowledge. Since then, only a handful of missions have followed. Each one builds on the last, with improved sensors, cameras, and robotic systems. Scientists no longer need to risk their lives to reach the bottom. Now, autonomous submersibles, powered by artificial intelligence and guided by sonar, can explore the deep for days at a time. Yet, despite all our advances, the feeling remains the same. Whenever we send something down into the trench, we hold our breath. Because it's not just another experiment. It's a conversation between humanity and the planet. The ocean listens quietly, and when it answers, it does so in whispers of data and sound. Even with modern technology, each descent is a fragile act of faith. The pressure at those depths can crush steel like paper. Every piece of the vessel must be perfect. Every bolt, every weld, every circuit. There is no room for error, and no second chances. The people who work on these missions often describe a deep respect, almost reverence, for the ocean. They know that beneath the waves lies something older than time, something that cannot be fully measured or mapped. And yet they keep trying, because curiosity does not sleep. It moves quietly through us, like a current beneath the surface of the mind. Some of the data collected from these dives is used not only for marine biology, but for climate science, and even computing research. The extreme conditions of the deep, help engineers design stronger materials, smarter algorithms, and more efficient data storage systems. In fact, large tech companies have experimented with placing servers under the ocean. The cool, stable environment of the deep can help regulate temperature naturally. It's a poetic circle. The same ocean that once inspired exploration now quietly supports the flow of modern information. The explorers who descend into the trench often describe a feeling of isolation, but also, paradoxically, of connection. There's a moment when the noise of the surface fades away, and all that remains is a slow pulse, like the heartbeat of the planet itself. In that silence, thoughts become clear. Everything we think of as large, our cities, our machines, our worries, suddenly feels very small. But it isn't a frightening smallness. It's comforting, because in that deep stillness, you realize that you are part of something vast and balanced. That the ocean, the air, the clouds, and even the digital data streaming above are all part of one continuous flow. The people who've seen the bottom say that what struck them most wasn't what they saw, but what they felt, a quiet awe, a humility that stays with them forever. Each mission to the trench adds to our understanding, not only of the Earth, but of the spirit of exploration itself. The trench has no cities, no sounds, no colors, and yet it is full of meaning. There's something deeply human about reaching for the unreachable, not for fame or glory, but for knowledge, for wonder. The same curiosity that sent ancient sailors beyond the edge of their maps now sends submersibles into the blackness below. And every time we go, we learn that the unknown is not something to fear, but something to respect. There's a beautiful symmetry in that idea. That exploration of the deepest point on Earth teaches us about what it means to be alive on its surface. It shows us patience. It shows us care. It reminds us that progress and peace can exist together. That discovery does not have to disturb, but can simply illuminate. The trench is, in many ways, a mirror of the human mind, vast, mysterious, filled with uncharted places that only appear when we dare to look inward. When we study the ocean's depth, we also study our own. The same curiosity that pushes us to map the seafloor is the curiosity that drives us to understand ourselves, our thoughts, our consciousness. Perhaps that's why the stories of Pete Carr, Walsh, and Cameron resonate so deeply, because they remind us that exploration is not a battle against nature. It's a quiet partnership with it, a way of saying, we are here, we are listening. In the years to come, more journeys will descend into the trench. Some will be crude, others will be robotic. Each will send back new data, new images, and new mysteries. But no matter how advanced our machines become, the essence of it will remain the same. The stillness, the patience, and the profound humility of looking into the unknown. Human curiosity is gentle. It does not always shout. Sometimes it simply whispers, just like the soft currents that flow through the trench. And as long as we keep listening, the world will keep revealing its quiet secrets. Imagine now that we are suspended in the silent blue. The light above has faded into velvet. Around us, the water moves with patient grace, a slow rotation of temperature and life. Every current, every droplet is a message carried from one part of the planet to another. It is a system older than humanity, older than the continents as we know them. And yet, in its movement, in its rhythm, there's something very familiar, something that feels almost technological. If we think of the ocean as a vast and living network, then every current is like a stream of data, moving, storing, and reshaping information. The deep sea doesn't just exist, it communicates. Each motion, each whisper of water, tells another layer of Earth's story. It is a conversation between temperature, gravity, and time. Scientists sometimes describe the global ocean as a conveyor belt, a slow circulation that connects every sea, every coast, into one continuous loop. Warm water flows from the tropics toward the poles, where it cools, sinks, and returns as cold, dense water to the equator. It could take hundreds, even thousands of years for a single parcel of water to complete this journey around the world. Like a message traveling through an ancient, patient network. It moves quietly, never hurried, yet never stopping. When we send data across the internet, it travels through fiber optic cables, invisible threads stretching across continents and under oceans. These cables pulse with light, billions of signals every second, crossing through darkness. And so, the modern digital world rests on the same ocean that has always carried information in its own way. The sea carries physical energy, while the cables that rest upon its floor carry digital energy. Two types of flow, sharing the same pathways beneath the waves. The ocean floor is more connected than many people realize. Beneath the quiet surface lies a sprawling web of communication lines. More than 400 active fiber optic cables link countries and continents, totaling over 1 million kilometers in length. They are thin, no thicker than a garden hose, yet they bear nearly all of the world's international data. Your messages, your calls, your videos, they pass through the same waters that cradle the Mariana Trench. Some even run near its rim, where the silence of nature meets the hum of technology. It's poetic in a way, how human communication and natural circulation coexist. The currents of the deep carry whispers of salt and heat. The cables above them carry whispers of voices and ideas. Both are invisible to the naked eye, both essential to the rhythm of life on Earth. Now let's imagine following one of those deep currents. It begins near the surface, in the warmth of the Pacific. The sun's heat stirs the top layers, setting them in motion. Microscopic organisms drift there, plankton that bloom and fade with the seasons. When they die, their tiny remains sink slowly, carrying carbon and nutrients downward like data packets descending into storage. This rain of organic matter is called marine snow. Each flake is a fragment of information, a record of sunlight, growth, and decay. Over time, these fragments settle on the seafloor, forming layers that hold memories of Earth's climate. By studying these sediments, scientists can read the past, just as we retrieve archived data from old servers. Deep below, other currents receive this material and move it along. The movement is delicate, yet immense. Billions of tons of water sliding quietly through narrow canyons and broad plains. In those cold corridors, pressure replaces noise. There are no storms here, no waves, only the unending drift of molecules. Each one transfers heat, carbon, oxygen, and nutrients, balancing the planet's systems, maintaining stability. It is Earth's natural data flow, a steady exchange that keeps everything alive. Now, think of how data moves across our digital clouds. Information leaves one device, travels through cables, enters massive data centers, and emerges somewhere else, reshaped, reinterpreted, renewed. Inside those centers, air conditioners hum like soft ocean currents. Servers blink like bioluminescent creatures, tiny points of light communicating silently in the dark. And just as ocean currents regulate the planet's temperature, our networks regulate the temperature of civilization. The flow of knowledge, commerce, creativity, and connection. The resemblance between these systems is more than coincidence. Nature has always modeled efficiency. The ocean does not waste motion. It moves only as needed, shifting energy slowly but with precision. Likewise, well-designed networks distribute data efficiently, reducing lag, balancing loads, avoiding overload. In a sense, when humans created cloud computing, we unconsciously mirrored the balance of the sea. Clouds in the sky form as water vapor condenses. Clouds in technology form as information gathers. Both depend on circulation. Both require constant movement to stay alive. If a current stopped, a region would stagnate. If a data flow stopped, a digital world would freeze. In both realms, motion is memory. Let's drift deeper into this connection. Picture the layers of the ocean. The surface zone where sunlight dances, the twilight zone where colors fade, and the midnight zone where only darkness remains. Each layer functions differently, but together they form one living system. The same is true for digital infrastructure. There are layers of hardware, software, and virtual services, each independent, yet dependent on the others. In both the ocean and the cloud, strength comes from cooperation. A single current or a single server cannot sustain the whole, but together, millions of small flows create something vast and enduring. Even the language we use for data, streaming, bandwidth flow, comes from the natural world. We compare downloads to rivers, connections to waves, and latency to the resistance of deep water. Perhaps the metaphors are more accurate than we realize. The ocean teaches the importance of redundancy and resilience. When a storm disturbs one part of the sea, another current compensates, restoring equilibrium. In networks, when one path fails, data reroutes itself. The principle is the same. Flexibility ensures survival. And just as the deep sea has backup systems of life, creatures that thrive in conditions others cannot, our digital world builds backup servers, ready to awaken when the main ones sleep. In the Mariana region, hydrothermal vents release mineral-rich water, hot streams rising into the cold abyss. Around these vents, life clusters, thriving in isolation. They are natural nodes of energy and activity, not unlike hubs in a digital network. Each vent supports a miniature ecosystem. Tube worms, shrimp, bacteria, all dependent on chemical exchanges. They do not rely on sunlight or surface food. Instead, they rely on chemistry, on the transformation of heat and minerals into life. In technology, data centers act the same way. Self-sustained ecosystems converting electricity into information. They too depend on balance. Temperature, energy, cooling. Too much heat, and they falter. Too little flow, and they stall. But when maintained, they hum with quiet, invisible productivity, just like the vent fields far below the Pacific. Now consider the way sound moves underwater. It can travel thousands of kilometers, bending around continents, echoing across basins. Low-frequency whale songs may carry messages across oceans. In the digital realm, our networks echo in similar ways. Packets of information bounce between satellites and undersea cables, finding the most efficient route. Each transmission is a kind of echo, a whisper of one human mind reaching another. The physics are different, but the principle, communication across vast distance, is shared. There's a quiet elegance in realizing that our modern connectivity depends on ancient pathways carved by water and gravity. We often imagine the internet as something floating in the air, but in truth, it is deeply anchored, physically connected to the seabed. Each strand of cable is laid carefully by ships that trace routes along the ocean floor. They map the terrain, avoiding ridges and trenches, protecting the cables from the pressure of the deep. In some places, these cables descend into depths of over 8,000 meters, close to the world of the trench itself. They rest quietly, untouched, unseen, and yet, through them, humanity speaks. Some engineers describe this underwater network as the digital ocean. It has tides of traffic, currents of information, and regions of calm and intensity. During global events, the data tides surge, just as ocean tides rise with the pull of the moon. During the quiet hours of night, traffic ebbs, allowing the network to rest. In this way, even our technology follows the rhythm of nature, the pulse of activity and stillness. When oceanographers collect samples from the deep, they send small capsules attached to long cables. The data rises slowly through kilometers of water, just as information climbs from local servers to global networks. Both journeys require time, patience, and trust in invisible connections, and both result in knowledge. Knowledge that shapes how we understand our world. Think, for a moment, about data itself. It seems intangible, but in truth, it always has a physical home. Every photo, every word, exists as electrical charge on a silicon chip somewhere, in a server room cooled by recycled air, sometimes even powered by ocean waves. Some companies now place servers directly beneath the sea. They rest inside sealed capsules, where the cold water naturally cools them. The ocean becomes both cradle and coolant, a gentle, sustainable partner for technology. The same depths that hold ancient creatures now also hold the hum of human creation. And yet, the ocean remains unchanged in essence. It accepts these additions quietly, absorbing cables and sensors with the same patience. It gives to coral and sand. It reminds us that the future and the past can share space, that innovation does not have to disturb stillness. As we drift through this idea, notice how similar our thought patterns are to ocean currents. They start small, a single question, a gentle ripple of curiosity, then spread outward, connecting to others, forming waves of understanding. Each thought joins the next, creating flow. Our minds are their own networks, and when we learn, we become part of a greater circulation of knowledge. That circulation mirrors what happens in the ocean every day. Water from the surface descends, carrying oxygen downward. Water from the deep rises, bringing nutrients upward. The balance keeps marine life alive. Similarly, ideas from the surface world, innovation, discovery, descend into the depths of research and reflection, while deep insights rise again to inspire creativity. It is the same system, expressed differently. In this sense, the Mariana Trench is more than a geological feature. It is a metaphor for depth itself, the depth of information, of thought, of history. Every byte of data stored in the global cloud has its counterpart in the ocean's layered sediments. Both are archives of existence, each recording the traces of what once was. Scientists can read the isotopes in deep sea cores to understand climate changes thousands of years ago. Likewise, analysts can read digital patterns to understand the evolution of societies and behaviors. The deep keeps the memory of the planet. The cloud keeps the memory of civilization. What's most peaceful about this comparison is that neither the ocean nor the cloud judges. They simply store, process, and circulate. The sea doesn't decide what particles to keep. It accepts them all, plankton, sand, or starlight. The cloud, too, holds everything given to it, quietly maintaining the world's collective whisper. And both systems are infinitely complex, yet harmoniously simple. They operate through repetition, wave after wave, signal after signal, creating stability through motion. There's comfort in that idea, that even when life feels chaotic, the deeper systems, natural or digital, are calmly maintaining balance beneath the surface. When you imagine data traveling through the ocean's cables, picture small flashes of light, dancing through glass threads, in complete darkness. Each pulse of light carries meaning, just as each particle of water carries energy. Billions of these flashes happen every moment, tiny luminous travelers, racing alongside fish, currents, and minerals. The ocean, once thought of as remote and unreachable, is now the most essential corridor of global connection. In this union of sea and signal, we see the convergence of two worlds, the natural and the technological, the timeless and the instantaneous. It is a reminder that progress need not sever us from nature. It can reflect it, emulate it, even honor it. Every network, no matter how advanced, owes its logic to the quiet intelligence of the natural world. Some philosophers suggest that the ocean is a form of collective consciousness for the planet, a place where memories and energies merge. If that's true, then our digital cloud might be a reflection of that consciousness, a man-made mirror of Earth's organic mind. In both, data flows in cycles. In both, information never truly disappears. It simply changes form, re-enters the current, and travels onward. The next time you send a message, imagine it not as electricity, but as a ripple in water, your thought leaves your mind, enters a stream, and somewhere, far away, another mind receives the vibration. This is the poetry of connection, an invisible ocean of shared understanding. The trench, far below, watches all of this without movement. It has seen the rise and fall of continents, the birth of species, the dawn of technology. It knows that flow is life, and stillness is wisdom. Both are needed, both sustain the other. The deepest point of the earth supports the highest points of communication. And through it all, the currents keep moving, carrying warmth, memory, and possibility. As you float with this thought, feel the gentle symmetry between yourself and the sea. Your heartbeat echoes the slow pulse of a current. Your breath rises and falls like the tide. And somewhere, in the vast silence below, a cable hums softly with the light of human thought. The ocean and the cloud, together, keep the planet connected. Two sides of the same beautiful system, one born of water, the other of imagination. And so, the ocean continues its silent work, archiving the whispers of the world, balancing heat and salt, sustaining life in ways we're only beginning to understand. While above it, our data networks mirror that patience, transmitting billions of dreams and ideas every second. Both teach us the same quiet truth. That connection, when gentle and balanced, can last forever. Far below the surface, where sunlight fades into shadow, and shadow dissolves into darkness, life continues in ways that defy imagination. The Mariana Trench is not empty. It breathes. It pulses with quiet movement, slow, patient, eternal. Down here, every living thing is a lesson in endurance. Every flicker of light, every drift of motion, is a whisper that life will always find a way. Imagine yourself drifting slowly downward. The water cools, becoming heavy and still. There is no sound of waves or birds now, only the soft hum of your own heartbeat and the slow rhythm of bubbles rising toward a world you've left behind. At around 1,000 meters, sunlight disappears completely. The water becomes inky black, a velvet void stretching endlessly in all directions. Yet, even here, in this absolute darkness, life begins to glow. Tiny dots of light appear, not from the sun, but from the creatures themselves. They shimmer like floating constellations. Bioluminescent plankton swirl gently in the current, their bodies emitting faint pulses of blue and green. Each pulse is a quiet signal, a message in a language older than words. Farther below, jellyfish drift slowly, their delicate bells trailing tendrils of light. Some blink in gentle rhythms, while others glow continuously, like lanterns lost in a deep and silent dream. There are fish too, creatures that seem almost sculpted from imagination. The anglerfish moves lazily through the water, its lures swaying gently from a long filament above its head. At the tip of that filament glows a light, a living bulb filled with symbiotic bacteria. It uses this light to draw prey closer, and when the moment is right, the darkness swallows everything again. The anglerfish is both hunter and phantom. It moves so slowly that it seems not to move at all. It waits, as the deep ocean waits, without rush, without noise, without end. Nearby, a vampire squid drifts gracefully, its body soft and luminous, its arms webbed like dark silk. Despite its name, it's gentle, a scavenger that feeds on drifting particles, collecting tiny pieces of marine snow with delicate filaments. It lives in the oxygen minimum zone, where few others can survive. Its skin glows faintly, a reminder that even in scarcity, there can be beauty. And then there are the snailfish, the true residents of the Mariana Trench's deepest floor. Their bodies are translucent, almost ghost-like. They have no scales, no air bladders, and their bones are soft, almost fluid. In the crushing pressure of the trench, rigid structures would shatter, but flexibility means survival. They glide above the soft sediment, moving with gentle, effortless grace. They feed on amphipods, tiny, shrimp-like creatures that thrive in the endless darkness. The snailfish are not strong by our standards, but they are perfectly adapted. They exist exactly as they must, and nothing more. The amphipods themselves are a marvel. At these depths, the pressure would crush metal, but their bodies are built from special proteins that resist compression. Their shells contain aluminum extracted from the surrounding sediment, a natural shield against the impossible. They are small, unassuming, but they represent the persistence of life in its purest form. Further down, bacteria live within the sediments. Some feed on methane and hydrogen, some on sulfur and iron, and some survive purely on chemical energy. This process, called chemosynthesis, allows them to live without sunlight, transforming minerals into nourishment. They are the foundation of an unseen ecosystem, the silent architects of survival. These bacteria gather around hydrothermal vents and cold seeps, places where fluids escape from cracks in the ocean floor. The vents release warmth and minerals, creating tiny oases of life in an otherwise frozen world. Around them grow tube worms, creatures that can reach meters in length. They have no mouths, no stomachs, yet they thrive by harboring symbiotic bacteria within their bodies. The worms offer protection. The bacteria offer food. It is a partnership as old as time, a quiet exchange of trust in the dark. Imagine these vents glowing faintly in the abyss, like embers scattered across the seafloor. Around them, white crabs scuttle over black rock, blind yet perfectly aware of their surroundings. Their bodies detect vibrations and temperature changes. With extraordinary sensitivity, they move deliberately, collecting bits of nourishment, living without light, guided only by instinct and adaptation. Even the simplest forms of life here are extraordinary. Some microbes discovered in the Mariana Trench can survive pressures 1,100 times greater than at the surface. Others can resist cold, starvation, and even radiation. Scientists call them extremophiles, life forms that flourish where others perish. But perhaps a better word is survivors. In the grand silence of the deep, they are reminders that persistence is its own kind of brilliance. Every movement, every flicker, every microscopic reaction is part of a vast balance. Down here, waste from one creature becomes nourishment for another. Energy circulates in a slow, perfect rhythm. Nothing wasted, nothing hurried. It's the ocean's version of harmony. A system as intricate as any digital network, but infinitely older and infinitely wiser. If you could stand on the seafloor, though no one ever truly could, you'd find it surprisingly alive. Sediment drifts like powdered snow. Tiny worms tunnel unseen. Microbes form thin, living films on rocks and debris. Every particle, every grain, holds life in miniature. It's as though the planet itself continues to dream beneath its crust. The trench, once thought barren, is in truth a sanctuary of subtle life. Its inhabitants don't seek the surface. They don't know sunlight or sound or seasons. Their world is constant, dark, cold, and still. Yet within that constancy, they've carved out endless variety. There are sea cucumbers here, slowly gliding across the sediment, their gelatinous bodies undulating like liquid glass. They feed on organic matter, sifting through the remains of life from above. Some have delicate, feathery appendages that extend into the water, catching falling particles. A patient and endless meal. Nearby, brittle stars twist and coil, their arms moving like strands of silk in a current. They feed in silence, their rhythm unchanging, as though they've been part of the ocean's meditation for eternity. Sometimes, small pelagic creatures drift down from shallower waters. They may not belong here, but the deep accepts all things in time. A lost fish, a fragment of coral, a piece of drifting kelp. Each becomes part of the endless exchange. Even the remains of whales sink here eventually, becoming whale falls, vast banquets for scavengers. An entire ecosystem blooms and fades around them, a feast that may last decades. This is the rhythm of the abyss. Slow, silent, eternal. To understand life here is to understand patience itself. Nothing hurries. Nothing is wasted. Each moment is as long as it needs to be. Every action, however small, serves the whole. It is the perfect metaphor for balance, one that our fast, bright world above often forgets. The trench teaches by example. Here, survival isn't a struggle. It's a quiet acceptance, a graceful adaptation to what is. Life here doesn't fight against darkness or pressure. It simply exists within it, as though the deep were a kind of peace, not a challenge. When scientists send robotic probes down into the trench, they discover something humbling. Even after millions of years, life below has remained almost unchanged. Evolution continues, but slowly, carefully, as if the deep itself prefers stillness. These creatures live long, quiet lives, measured not in years, but in cycles of drifting food, slow heartbeats, and endless waiting. The energy here is delicate. Every nutrient that falls from above is precious. Marine snow, the soft, continuous rain of organic debris, feeds the entire deep-sea food web. It may take months for a single particle to fall from a surface to the trench floor. But when it arrives, it sustains entire colonies. A single flake of decayed plankton can be the beginning of 100 lives below. In this way, the deep sea mirrors the cloud systems of technology. Data trickles slowly through networks, each packet small and isolated, but together they form vast oceans of knowledge. Just as the trench gathers the remnants of life from above, the cloud gathers the fragments of thought from billions of minds. Both are deep, invisible, and continuous, silent architectures that hold everything together. And just like the trench, the digital ocean has its own ecosystems, some bright and visible, others hidden, patient, and essential. The difference is only one: a medium. Water and data flow by the same principles. They both seek balance. They both connect the unseen. The creatures of the Mariana Trench remind us of this. They thrive by interconnection, by recycling, by sharing. No life form here exists alone. Each one depends on the invisible traces of another. The amphipod depends on bacteria. The snailfish depends on the amphipod. The bacteria depend on minerals and decay. It is a chain without beginning or end, a continuous loop of existence. The ocean's own infinite code. If you listen closely to descriptions from deep-sea microphones, the trench is not silent. There are low rumbles from distant earthquakes, soft, rhythmic creaks from the planet's crust. Occasionally, the faint, drawn-out song of a whale, a note traveling thousands of miles through pressure and time. It's a reminder that even here, in the cold and dark, the surface still echoes faintly below. The earth speaks in vibrations, and the trench listens. Life in the abyss has no eyes for the sky, yet it feels every tremor, every tide, every shift. It is tuned to the heartbeat of the world. Perhaps that is the greatest adaptation of all, the ability to live in constant awareness of everything, without fear, without need for light. Some scientists believe the origins of life itself began in environments like this, deep within hydrothermal vents, protected from the chaos of the early Earth. If that's true, then the trench is not just a refuge. It's a memory, a living record of how existence first learned to begin. Each organism here carries echoes of that origin. Each molecule of its being remembers the first chemical spark. In the stillness of the trench, you can almost imagine that memory repeating endlessly, a soft whisper in the water. I am here. I have always been here. Even as technology advances, as satellites circle the Earth and data flows through the cloud, the ocean below remains the original network, older than time, deeper than any digital vault. And in that network, the creatures of the abyss continue their patient exchange, unhurried, undisturbed. When we look at them, we are reminded of a truth often forgotten, that simplicity can be strength, and quiet endurance can be the most profound form of life. If you were to linger here in your imagination, watching the soft movements of these beings, you'd feel an almost meditative peace. The world above seems distant, its rush and noise dissolving into memory. Down here, the only rhythm is that of slow creation. Every flick of a fin, every drift of a particle, is part of vast, unspoken harmony. The abyss doesn't demand understanding. It only asks that you notice, that you breathe, that you accept stillness as part of the experience of being alive. And as you drift through this imagined deep, you realize that the trench, for all its darkness, is not a place of emptiness. It is full of quiet wisdom, full of life beyond sight, full of a serenity that the surface rarely knows. The deep sea, in its endless patience, reminds us that life can thrive in silence. That beauty exists without an audience. That meaning doesn't always require light. Somewhere, far below the last shimmer of sunlight, a snailfish stirs. A trail of marine snow drifts past. A colony of bacteria blooms quietly on a rock. And in that silent, weightless moment, the ocean continues to dream. A dream that began billions of years ago and will continue long after we are gone. To imagine life in the abyss is to imagine peace itself, steady, enduring, and infinitely deep. Down in the silent depths of the ocean, where sunlight has long vanished and pressure builds beyond comprehension, technology becomes both a companion and translator. It is through the soft hum of machines, the gentle pulse of instruments, and the quiet intelligence of artificial minds that humanity reaches into this otherworldly space. The Mariana Trench, once unreachable and unknown, is now slowly revealing itself through the patient touch of modern science and engineering. Imagine, if you will, a small vessel resting on calm ocean waters, its metal hull gleaming faintly under a pale sky. Inside, a group of engineers and researchers speak in calm tones, their voices measured and low. They are surrounded by screens glowing softly in the dim light, displays of sonar maps, depth charts, and live telemetry. Outside, the sea moves slowly, unbothered by their presence. Beneath them lies a descent so profound that it might as well be a journey through time itself. At the heart of this operation is an autonomous underwater vehicle, or AUV. Sleek, streamlined, and nearly silent, it resembles a great mechanical fish. Its surface is covered with sensors, cameras, and acoustic instruments, delicate tools built to endure crushing pressure. It is programmed not with urgency, but with patience. Once released, it glides downward gracefully, obeying a path written by algorithms designed to adapt, learn, and observe. The deeper it goes, the more it becomes alone. Communication fades, radio waves die, and GPS signals vanish completely. It cannot be guided by satellite or remote hand. Down here, it must think for itself. Inside its titanium shell, a silent network of processors awakens, running models, reading sonar, comparing, predicting, adjusting. Every few seconds, it evaluates the terrain below and decides how to move. It learns, in its own quiet way, the language of the ocean floor. This is the new frontier of exploration, not of conquest, but of understanding. Where once explorers descended in fragile submersibles, today we send intelligence. Each AUV is an envoy of human curiosity, a vessel for thought and data rather than body and breath. It feels no fear, no fatigue, no claustrophobia. It simply observes, records, and returns. The journey downward is long. The ocean cools, the light dims, and particles drift like slow snow in a perpetual midnight. As the AUV descends past 6,000 meters, then 7, then 10, the pressure grows immense, but it remains calm. Around it, tiny life forms flicker like data points in the dark, each one a fragment of biological code written across millennia. Inside the control room above, the scientists wait. They monitor faint streams of data sent acoustically through the water column. A digital whisper traveling through thousands of meters of liquid weight. Every packet of information is precious. Every signal received is a small victory. When the AUV reaches the trench floor, it hovers gently above the sediment. A low hum fills its interior, sonar mapping systems activating, lasers tracing the contours of the seabed. It begins to build a map, line by line, pulse by pulse. Each sound wave that bounces back becomes a pixel in a vast image of the unknown. And in that moment, technology and nature are intertwined. The sound waves echo off ancient rock, off the slow drift of organic matter, off the curved shell of creatures that have never seen light. Every echo returns carrying a story of structure, movement, and time. Through data visualization, the scientists above will later reconstruct these stories. A 3D model will appear, colorless at first, then shaded in hues of blue and gray. It will reveal valleys, ridges, and canyons, all hidden for millions of years. The seafloor, once invisible, now takes form in the human imagination. The data collected by the AUV doesn't stay confined to the ship. When it resurfaces, it is transferred to servers, processed, and uploaded to vast cloud systems. Within moments, that data, once drifting in the silence of the trench, becomes accessible to researchers across the world. Through cloud computing, the deepest parts of the Earth communicate with distant laboratories in real time. In this way, exploration has changed. The ocean is no longer explored by one ship or one team, but by a global network of minds. Scientists in Japan can compare findings with those in California or Norway. Algorithms can analyze temperature gradients and pressure changes simultaneously from multiple dives. Artificial intelligence can cross-reference data from past expeditions and detect subtle geological patterns invisible to the human eye. The trench, then, becomes not only a physical frontier, but a digital one. Every sonar ping, every temperature reading, every chemical trace becomes a fragment of a vast data tapestry. These fragments are processed, categorized, and stored, a kind of deep ocean cloud, where knowledge flows instead of water. Think of how cloud computing mirrors the ocean itself. Just as the sea is made of countless droplets, the digital cloud is made of countless bits of data. Each droplet alone is small, insignificant, but together they form something boundless. The data from a single dive might seem like a handful of numbers, pressure readings, oxygen levels, video frames. But combined with thousands of dives over decades, it becomes a living portrait of the planet's heartbeat. Somewhere in a quiet data center, servers hum softly. Within those processors are the echoes of the deep, the sound of sonar pulses reflecting off the ocean floor, the flicker of bioluminescent creatures captured in pixel form. The ocean speaks through data now. Artificial intelligence has become the translator between the human world and the abyss. Using pattern recognition, machine learning models identify strange creatures caught in the video feeds. They detect new species, rare geological formations, and chemical anomalies. These systems do not sleep or tire. They watch the abyss for us, patiently, constantly, translating the language of depth into human understanding. And yet, even with this vast intelligence, there is humility. Technology cannot conquer the trench, it can only observe. The AUVs may map every ridge and valley, but the feeling of the deep, the weight of silence, the texture of darkness, remains beyond any algorithm's reach. Human exploration, however, has not disappeared. Occasionally, manned submersibles still make the descent. Inside them, explorers sit surrounded by softly glowing panels, breathing filtered air. Outside their small windows, nothing but blackness. They are accompanied not just by their courage, but by networks of sensors, computers, and instruments designed to protect and record. Every descent begins the same way, with calm, deliberate preparation. Each system is tested, each valve checked, each battery secured. The submersible is sealed, and a gentle voice over the intercom announces the beginning of the dive. Then, slowly it sinks. At first, The sunlight flickers through the water like liquid glass. Then the colors fade from bright blue to dark indigo, from indigo to gray, from gray to black. Eventually, only the soft glow of the submersible's lights remains. The outside world disappears. As the descent continues, the explorers speak quietly, describing what they see. The scattering of plankton, the flicker of light from small creatures, the smooth drop of the ocean floor. Data from the instrument scrolls gently across the screens. Pressure, depth, temperature, oxygen. Each number is both a scientific reading and a heartbeat, a sign of connection to the world above. When they finally reach the bottom, they are greeted not by emptiness, but by quiet life. Strange forms drift slowly past, translucent, fragile, yet strong in ways human bodies could never be. Cameras record all, sending streams of information upward through cables, satellites, and networks. The footage is later uploaded into the digital cloud, where others can experience this hidden realm without leaving their homes. Technology allows millions to visit the trench without ever touching water. Virtual simulations, built from sonar data and AI-generated textures, recreate the landscape in 3D environments. You can glide through the trench with a headset, following the same path as the AUV, surrounded by soft ambient sounds of the deep. It is as if humanity has woven the ocean into the digital realm. And as you drift through that virtual space, it becomes clear the boundary between ocean and cloud, between nature and network, is thinner than we think. The fibers that connect continents, the undersea cables that power the internet, also cross the same abyssal plains where the trench lies. These cables carry light, information, and voices. They connect people, businesses, families. They're the circulatory system of the digital world, pulsing silently beneath the waves. In some areas, these cables pass only a few hundred miles from the trench's rim. There, in the darkness, the modern world hums faintly above the ancient one. The same ocean that swallowed explorers and nurtured unknown species now carries the heartbeat of human civilization. Our emails, our videos, our whispers of connection. It is humbling to realize that as we stream, communicate, and share, our data travels across the same pathways that nature has shaped for eons. The network and the current move in similar ways, flowing, branching, converging, spreading. Each seeks balance. Each responds to resistance. Each finds the path of least energy. When oceanographers analyze the flow of currents, they often use models that resemble network graphs, nodes connected by paths, carrying energy and information. Data scientists use similar models to understand internet traffic. Both systems, in their own language, describe the same thing: the movement of information through a medium that never sleeps. As we continue to explore, the two worlds, digital and natural, become mirrors of one another. We build systems that mimic the ocean's calm efficiency. The flow of data through fiber resembles the slow drift of nutrients through deep-sea currents. Cloud storage echoes the way sediments settle, layer by layer, preserving memory in depth and time. Each advance in ocean exploration depends on this digital ecosystem. The images taken by AUVs are compressed and uploaded to cloud servers for real-time collaboration. Teams across continents access the same datasets simultaneously. Artificial neural networks comb through terabytes of video, identifying new life forms in seconds. This shared intelligence, distributed, quiet, and efficient, resembles a coral reef made of data instead of calcium. And just like coral reefs, this system grows naturally through cooperation. Each scientist contributes their part. A model, a dataset, an observation, and a network expands. It is the human version of symbiosis, built not from biology, but from shared curiosity. The future of trench exploration lies not in building faster machines, but in building quieter ones. Instruments that can observe without disturbing, record without intrusion, exist without harm. Technology is learning to listen instead of speak, to observe instead of command. Imagine a new generation of micro-robots, no larger than your hand, drifting with the currents instead of resisting them. They could measure pressure, temperature, and chemical composition while blending seamlessly with the environment. They would transmit data acoustically, like whales communicating across the deep. In time, they could form swarms, intelligent collectives, each one aware of the others, sharing data in real time, just as neurons share signals in a brain. This oceanic intelligence would not belong to one nation or one scientist. It would be global, patient, and timeless. A quiet chorus of machines listening to the planet's slow rhythms. In many ways, this mirrors how human consciousness itself operates. Countless thoughts drifting, connecting, and merging into awareness. The trench, with its vast stillness and invisible life, becomes a metaphor for the human mind. Deep, complex, mostly unexplored, yet filled with quiet signals waiting to be heard. The scientists who study these depths speak often of perspective. Spending time thinking about the trench changes how they see the world above. Problems that seem large become small. Noise becomes silence. Urgency gives way to rhythm. The deep teaches slowness. It teaches patience. The same patience technology now tries to emulate. Every new exploration returns not only with data, but with lessons in humility. Machines may map the ocean floor, but they also remind us how vast the unknown still is. Each image captured, each reading stored in the cloud, is just one ripple on an infinite sea of mystery. The merging of ocean science and technology has given birth to a new kind of storytelling. Through data visualization, through simulations, through the quiet hum of code, we tell the story of the planet. Not in words or songs, but in streams of numbers flowing through invisible rivers. Someday, perhaps, we will send AUVs even deeper or to other oceans, the subsurface seas of distant moons. The knowledge gained from a Mariana Trench will guide them. The same algorithms that map Earth's depths may one day map alien worlds beneath icy crusts. Technology, born from curiosity, will continue to seek stillness and truth in the silence of the unknown. And when that happens, the lessons from the trench, patience, balance, humility, will travel with us. Because the deep sea and the digital cloud are not so different. Both are vast, both are hidden, both connect everything. In this way, the story of exploration becomes circular. We began by staring at the sea, wondering what lay below. Now, we stare at data, wondering what lies within. The tools have changed, but the wonder remains. Above the trench, ships drift quietly, their antennas pointed towards satellites, their instruments synchronized with global networks. Below, machines move through darkness, guided by invisible currents. Between them, data flows, unbroken, timeless, serene. It is a conversation between worlds, ocean and cloud, nature and machine, silence and signal. And though we may never fully understand what waits at the very bottom, the act of reaching for it, softly, patiently, intelligently, connects us to something deeper than knowledge. It connects us to curiosity itself. The Mariana Trench is no longer just a place on a map. It is a meeting point between the physical and the digital, between pressure and thought, between silence and understanding. In the hum of servers, in the quiet code of artificial minds, in the pulse of sonar deep below, the same story is told. That life, data, and curiosity all flow endlessly downward and rise again, transformed. And as long as that flow continues, exploration will never end. The machines will descend, the data will rise, and humanity will listen, learning quietly from the soft wisdom of the deep. As you continue your journey deeper into the Mariana Trench, you notice a profound change in the world around you. The sunlight that once danced across the ocean's surface, glimmering in playful patterns on the water, has now completely vanished. The blue of the ocean has given way to a deep, velvety blackness. Here, there is no sky, no horizon, only an endless expanse of quiet and shadow. The sensation is not frightening, but profoundly calming. It is as if the ocean itself has wrapped you in a gentle, silent embrace, cushioning you from the hurried rhythms of life above. The stillness here is different from any quiet you have known on land. It is not simply the absence of sound. It is a presence, subtle yet unmistakable, that pervades every drop of water, every particle of suspended sediment, and every living organism that drifts through this immense darkness. It is a silence that has weight and substance, a deep, resonant calm that seems to echo across the layers of the ocean. It is as though the trench itself is breathing, slow and deliberate, exhaling and inhaling with the patience of 1,000 years. Here, time seems to stretch and bend. Minutes blend into hours, and hours into the quiet pulse of the earth. The pace of life above, with its constant movement, chatter, and clamor, feels distant and almost unreal. Down here, everything is slow. The currents, the chemical reactions that sustain life, the migration of tiny, bioluminescent creatures that drift like specks of light in the infinite darkness. You can almost feel the rhythm of the planet itself, a heartbeat that is both powerful and gentle, steady and unending. Everywhere you look, there is evidence of life, though it is unlike anything found near the surface. Tiny crustaceans scuttle along the soft, silted bottom, their translucent bodies shimmering faintly as they catch the faintest traces of light generated by bioluminescent organisms. These creatures move with an elegance born of necessity, perfectly adapted to an environment where even a single misstep can be fatal. Some are delicate, almost fragile in appearance, yet they withstand pressures that would crush any surface-dwelling creature in an instant. Others float gracefully, suspended in the water column, drifting on slow currents as though carried by invisible hands. Their movement is hypnotic, a gentle ballet performed in absolute silence, and observing it instills a sense of calm that is almost meditative. As you descend further, you begin to notice the patterns of light in this otherwise absolute darkness. The glow of bioluminescence is subtle but pervasive. Tiny points of illumination appear like distant stars scattered across the night sky. Some flash intermittently, like fireflies dancing in slow motion, while others emit a steady glow, bathing their immediate surroundings in a soft, gentle light. These displays are not random. They're communication, camouflage, attraction, and survival. Each flicker, each pulse, tells a story of life persisting against unimaginable odds. And as you observe these lights, you are reminded that even in the most extreme environments, beauty exists. Even in the deepest darkness, there is artistry, complexity, and a quiet, enduring elegance. The trench is not only a home for individual creatures, but a stage for intricate ecosystems, perfectly balanced and interconnected. The movement of one tiny organism influences the flow of others, as if a delicate dance is occurring on a scale too small for human eyes to fully comprehend. The soft particles of sediment that drift from above provide nourishment to countless microorganisms, forming the base of a food chain that thrives in conditions that would seem inhospitable to most life forms. And in this slow, patient rhythm, there is a lesson in endurance, in adaptation, and in the subtle, quiet power of resilience. As you linger in this stillness, you begin to notice the pressure of the water around you. It is not something to fight or fear, but a constant, tangible presence that envelopes everything. The weight of miles of water above presses down with a force beyond ordinary comprehension. Yet here, in this extreme environment, life continues with astonishing grace. The trench teaches humility, a reminder that no matter how advanced our technology, how complex our systems, or how busy our lives above the surface, there are realms where nature's rules surpass all human understanding. In this quiet world, the ocean is master, and everything else, even the most fragile forms of life, adapt and persist. The silence here is profound, yet it is not empty. It is filled with subtle sounds that exist only in the most sensitive perception. The faint crackle of shifting sediments, the almost imperceptible movement of water currents, the soft pulses of bioluminescent organisms, all combine to create a symphony that is both ancient and eternal. Unlike the noise of human civilization, which often feels hurried and jarring, this soundscape is slow, methodical, and restorative. It encourages deep breathing, a slowing of the heart, and the gentle release of tension from the body. One could linger in this sound forever, each note a lullaby written by the earth itself. The trench's darkness also encourages a kind of inner reflection. Without visual distractions, without the interruptions of daily life, the mind begins to quiet. Thoughts drift in and out like gentle currents, unforced and natural. There is no need to chase ideas or solve problems. Instead, the deep stillness allows for contemplation, for the observation of one's own consciousness as it mirrors the slow, deliberate movement of the trench itself. In this way, the Mariana Trench becomes more than a physical space. It becomes a sanctuary for the mind, a place where curiosity and relaxation coexist in perfect harmony. Even the chemistry of the trench contributes to its meditative effect. The water here is near freezing, yet the layers are rich in minerals and dissolved gases that sustain life in extraordinary ways. Hydrothermal vents release warmth and nutrients, creating localized pockets of activity amid the broader stillness. These vents form the basis for entire ecosystems, a reminder that even in a world dominated by darkness and pressure, pockets of vitality exist. Observing this, one begins to appreciate the intricate balance of the ocean, the slow but deliberate processes that have allowed life to persist for millions of years. There is serenity in understanding that the trench, for all its mystery and extremity, operates in a state of quiet equilibrium. The trench also offers a unique perspective on time. Unlike the rapid pace of human experience, where days and weeks pass with urgency, the processes of the deep ocean unfold over centuries, millennia, and even millions of years. Sediments accumulate slowly, currents shift imperceptibly, and life evolves with patience and precision. To exist here, even as an observer, is to adopt a different rhythm, one that aligns with the slow heartbeat of the earth itself. In this alignment, there is comfort, a reminder that the universe does not hurry, and that there's a profound value in stillness, observation, and patience. While it appears empty at first glance, every moment offers subtle discoveries, a cluster of tiny glowing organisms, a soft ripple across the sediment, the slow drift of a gelatinous creature whose form seems almost unreal. These observations do not rush or demand attention. They invite patience, mindfulness, and a willingness to notice without urgency. It is a gentle lesson in observation, one that can be carried back to the surface, into everyday life, as a practice of calm awareness. One of the most remarkable aspects of the trench is its resilience. Despite the crushing pressure, near freezing temperatures, and total darkness, life has adapted in ways both creative and extraordinary. It thrives not because the environment is accommodating, but because it demands ingenuity and adaptation. This quiet persistence is mirrored in the very fabric of the trench. The sediment layers hold the memory of millions of years, each stratum a testament to endurance, evolution, and the patient unfolding of natural processes. To spend time in this space, even imaginatively, is to connect with the slow, deliberate persistence of life itself. In this quiet, extreme environment, even movement is deliberate and purposeful. Currents flow gently over the seafloor, carrying nutrients, heat, and chemical signals across vast distances. Tiny organisms ride these currents with grace, drifting in accordance with forces far larger than themselves. Observing this, one is reminded that life does not always require struggle to thrive. Sometimes the quiet acceptance of natural rhythms, the willingness to move with the current, to float with the flow, is enough. There is peace in this observation, a soothing reassurance that life can endure even under immense pressure when it follows the natural rhythms of its environment. The trench also inspires a sense of humility. Above the surface, humans often perceive themselves as masters of the world, shaping landscapes, building cities, and manipulating environments. Below, in the Mariana Trench, one sees the immense scale, power, and patience of nature. The ocean shapes the earth, defines the conditions for life, and operates on a timeline that dwarfs human experience. The stillness here is a reminder that some forces are greater than ourselves, and that there is beauty, wisdom, and calm in recognizing our place within a larger system. As you drift further, you may notice the faint signs of human exploration: a submersible's gentle glow, the shimmer of an instrument panel, the subtle hum of machinery designed to endure the extremes. These intrusions are minimal, respectful, and temporary, yet they serve as a bridge between worlds. They allow us to observe without disturbing, to learn without overwhelming, and to connect with the deep ocean in a way that honors its quiet majesty. The very act of observation here requires patience, care, and reverence, reinforcing the meditative quality of the environment. In the stillness below, the passage of time feels optional. Moments stretch into eternity, yet there is no sense of urgency or anxiety. The trench seems to exist outside the constraints of the surface world. The creatures move when they must, the water flows when it must, and the sediment settles in its own deliberate rhythm. The mind, if willing, can slow to match this pace, releasing tension, softening thoughts, and embracing a calm, almost dreamlike awareness. Finally, there's a profound sense of interconnectedness in this extreme environment. Every particle of water, every microorganism, every subtle shift in current plays a role in a larger system. Nothing exists in isolation. The trench demonstrates that life, even in its quietest, most hidden forms, is part of a vast, interwoven network. This realization fosters a deep sense of calm, empathy, and belonging. One begins to feel connected not only to the creatures of the trench, but to the rhythms of the entire planet, the slow unfolding of life, and the enduring presence of the natural world. In the Mariana Trench, the stillness is complete, yet it is alive. It is patient, resilient, and expansive. It is a space where pressure, darkness, and time converge to create a sanctuary of reflection, observation, and calm. As you allow yourself to exist in this space, you may feel the tension of the day dissolve, replaced by a gentle serenity. The trench teaches that stillness is not emptiness. It is richness. It is life. It is a rhythm that can soothe, inspire, and restore. Here, in the deepest part of the ocean, you are reminded of the profound beauty of the quiet, the elegance of patience, and the gentle power of endurance. You are reminded that sometimes the most meaningful experiences occur not in the bright, bustling surface world, but in the calm, unobserved depths where life persists in its most elegant, resilient, and peaceful forms. And as you linger in this quiet, imagining the slow, deliberate flow of water, the gentle pulse of life, and the enduring stillness of the trench, you may begin to feel a deep, natural relaxation spreading through your body and mind. Your thoughts may drift as slowly as the sediment above the seafloor. Your breathing may align with the rhythm of the ocean itself. And you may find that in this imagined presence, there is a serenity that can carry with you even after your mind rises back toward the surface. The stillness below is eternal. It is patient. It is profound. And it invites you, gently and lovingly, to rest, to dream, and to be at peace. And in this shared quiet, a profound realization emerges. Life, knowledge, and experience are not about speed. They are about depth, patience, and understanding. The Mariana Trench, in all its immensity and calm, becomes a teacher. Its lessons are subtle, often imperceptible at first, but deeply transformative. we learn that silence can speak volumes, that darkness can be luminous, and that connection exists even in the most remote and hidden corners of the world. Eventually, as we prepare to drift even deeper into sleep, we carry with us a sense of harmony. The trench has shared its wisdom, the slow patience of life, the silent persistence of knowledge, the gentle flow of energy, and the quiet beauty of resilience. Our minds are lighter, our bodies more relaxed, our breathing slower and more natural. We are floating with the currents of the deepest ocean, part of a rhythm that transcends time, space, and thought. In this reflective stillness, the Mariana Trench becomes more than a place. It becomes a state of mind, a reminder that calm, patience, and gentle curiosity are as essential to our inner world as pressure, depth, and adaptation are to the deepest corners of the ocean. It is a place where silence is not emptiness, but fullness, where darkness is not absence, but subtle illumination, and where the simple act of observing, of existing, of breathing can become an exploration as profound as any journey to the stars or the deepest oceans. Here, at the end of our descent, we are reminded that peace is not something to be chased or manufactured. It is discovered quietly in the rhythm of life, in the patient unfolding of knowledge, and in the gentle embrace of silence. The Mariana Trench, timeless and serene, offers that gift, a sanctuary of reflection, a quiet companion, and a vast reservoir of calm that lingers even after we have left its depths behind. And as we slowly allow ourselves to drift even further, carried by imagination and gentle thought, we carry the ocean's lessons with us, into sleep, into dreams, into a state of mind that mirrors the depth, serenity, and timeless flow of Earth's most profound and secret places. Floating here, one might imagine the gentle movements of submersibles, human attempts to touch this remote world. The explorers of the past and those of the present descend slowly, carefully, mindful of the immense pressure and delicate balance around them. Instruments hum softly, lights glow faintly, and cameras record what the eye can see. Each expedition adds a layer to our understanding, a small piece of knowledge brought up from the depths. Yet even as humans intrude upon this world, there is a quiet lesson. The deep ocean cannot be rushed. It reveals itself only to those who move slowly, who observe, who respect its rhythms. This reflection naturally extends to our own lives. How often do we rush, seek constant stimulation, or demand immediate results? The Mariana Trench teaches a different lesson, that patience and quiet observation can reveal truths that might otherwise be missed. In stillness, patterns emerge. In calm, clarity grows. In silence, perspective expands. As our mind drifts alongside the creatures and currents of the trench, it becomes easier to feel the importance of slowing down, to let the world pass by gently while we listen, absorb, and simply exist. And there is beauty here, even in darkness. Glowing organisms, the faint shimmer of particles, and the subtle reflections off soft sediment create a scene of quiet wonder. Light may be absent, but it is replaced with a kind of luminous rhythm that soothes rather than excites. Shadows dance in slow motion. Bioluminescent signals flash briefly, delicate and fleeting, yet powerful in their subtlety. The trench reminds us that beauty does not always need to shout. Some of the most profound experiences are understated, quiet, and deeply moving. As we continue to imagine ourselves here, drifting along the trench floor, we notice the scale. Immense, infinite, humbling. Above, the surface world seems distant and fragile. Every wave, every storm, every sunbeam belongs to a realm far away. Yet down here, life is remarkably self-sufficient, connected not to light but to flow. The creatures do not worry about the storms above. They exist in perfect harmony with the forces that surround them. Their lives are measured in subtle currents, gentle rains of organic material, and the patient rhythms of chemical reactions. Observing this, one cannot help but feel a sense of serenity, an almost sacred tranquility. The Mariana Trench also reminds us of the limits of human perception. Most of the ocean remains unexplored. Despite technology, despite centuries of curiosity, we have only touched a fraction of this hidden world. This limitation is not discouraging, but comforting. It suggests that mystery is natural, that the unknown is not to be feared, but embraced. It allows space for imagination, wonder, and gentle reflection. Even if we never fully understand every detail of the trench, it continues to exist, calm, enduring, patient, and infinitely fascinating. And as we contemplate this quiet, mysterious world, we notice something extraordinary. Our own minds begin to slow. Thoughts drift like the gentle currents. Tensions melt like the faint pressure waves moving through deep water. The chest rises and falls in a rhythmic harmony with imagined tides. The Mariana Trench becomes not just a distant place, but an internal sanctuary. Its stillness, depth, and patience become a mirror for our own state of relaxation. We are invited to let go, to float, to trust the gentle unfolding of time. The deeper we descend into thought and reflection, the more expansive our awareness becomes. We feel connected to the vastness of the ocean, to the slow processes of Earth, to the intricate dance of life in its many forms. There is an underlying sense of safety here, despite the extreme environment. This is a world that has existed for eons, unchanged in its essential rhythms. It does not demand anything from us. It simply allows us to exist alongside it, in quiet, unhurried companionship. And in this shared quiet, a profound realization emerges. Life, knowledge, and experience are not about speed. They're about depth, patience, and understanding. The Mariana Trench, in all its immensity and calm, becomes a teacher. Its lessons are subtle, often imperceptible at first, but deeply transformative. We learn that silence can speak volumes, that darkness can be luminous, and that connection exists even in the most remote and hidden corners of the world. Eventually, as we prepare to drift even deeper into sleep, we carry with us a sense of harmony. The trench has shared its wisdom, the slow patience of life, the silent persistence of knowledge, the gentle flow of energy, and the quiet beauty of resilience. Our minds are lighter, our bodies more relaxed, our breathing slower and more natural. We are floating with the currents of the deepest ocean, part of a rhythm that transcends time, space, and thought. In this reflective stillness, the Mariana Trench becomes more than a place. It becomes a state of mind, a reminder that calm, patience, and gentle curiosity are as essential to our inner world as pressure, depth, and adaptation are to the deepest corners of the ocean. It is a place where silence is not emptiness, but fullness, where darkness is not absence, but subtle illumination, and where the simple act of observing, of existing, of breathing can become an exploration as profound as any journey to the stars or the deepest oceans. Here, at the end of our descent, we are reminded that peace is not something to be chased or manufactured. It is discovered quietly in the rhythm of life, in the patient unfolding of knowledge, and in the gentle embrace of silence. The Mariana Trench, timeless and serene, offers that gift, a sanctuary of reflection, a quiet companion, and a vast reservoir of calm that lingers even after we have left its depths behind. And as we slowly allow ourselves to drift even further, carried by imagination and gentle thought, we carry the ocean's lessons with us, into sleep, into dreams, into a state of mind that mirrors the depth, serenity, and timeless flow of Earth's most profound and secret places. You've reached the end of our journey. The surface feels far away now, but your mind is calm, floating in gentle stillness. The Mariana Trench, a place few will ever see, yet all can imagine. It teaches us patience, depth, and the quiet power of curiosity. As you drift into sleep, know that your thoughts are like ocean currents, always flowing, always connected, part of something vast and beautiful. From all of us at Sleepy Science Tech, we wish you a peaceful night, a gentle mind, and the sweetest dreams. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to keep exploring science and technology, quietly, peacefully, and with wonder, please consider subscribing. Good night, and may your dreams drift softly beneath the waves.